Hey guys, it's History Behind the Warrior and welcome to another Mortal Kombat video. Now today, as you can tell, we're going to be talking about the aforementioned Mortal Kombat 11, what exactly is kind of going on with the series, and really where is it? I'm guessing that's what I'm calling the title anyway. Now before this video does start, I do want to say I am trying out a different editing style, hence why you can actually see me. So let me know if you actually like this style or you want me to stay with my old style, because I tend to find that these videos are much easier to put together in terms of editing. But at the end of the day, it's your reception that kind of matters to me, so let me know down in the comments below. I would actually appreciate it. Anyway, let's go back on topic. What exactly is going on with Mortal Kombat 11? Is it happening anytime soon? Is it cancelled? Well, I will say for sure that MK11 isn't happening anytime soon. I'm going to tell you my suspicions as to why, and I was actually going to make this video like right after E3 where I knew it wasn't going to come out, as I did call it and did say that MK11 isn't actually going to be revealed this year on the day before it started, and I'll tell you guys as to why. But I'm going to link all this stuff together. It's going to be kind of a jumbled mess, but there's going to be a lot of reasons as to why I believe this has happened, how this is somewhat beneficial in many ways. So I'm going to be straightforward with you what exactly I personally believe is going on and what does this kind of entail for the future. And also, I've been seeing this rumor circulate recently that EVO 2018 this coming weekend will be the MK11 reveal. I hate to break it to you, but the chances of that happening aren't exceptionally high. And I'm not being a negative Nancy for the sake of doing so, but please do hear me out. NetherRealm Studio games have never been this big kind of thing at EVO. But that's not saying that there isn't an audience that does watch it and does enter. What I mean by this is that in comparison to their competition like Tekken 7 and Street Fighter 5, even Dragon Ball FighterZ this year, there's a large audience that kind of focus more on Japanese oriented fighting games. That being, as I have said, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Tekken 7 and Street Fighter 5. So EVO would not be the place to actually show off MK11. If anything, it would actually have been Combo Breaker this year, as Combo Breaker takes place in Chicago, where NetherRealm Studios is based, and really Combo Breaker in general is kind of a large exhibition of NetherRealm Studio games. So any rumors regarding the whole EVO reveal, I would take it as a grain of salt for now. Anyway, let's get back onto the video because I went off on a tangent there. I'm sorry I had to mention this, but I don't want people going to EVO thinking it's going to happen and then get disappointed again. It wouldn't be fair, because right now, after we didn't get a reveal at E3, it's kind of like kicking someone when they're down. Now, what's my own personal belief and reason as to why MK11 wasn't revealed this year? Well, a strong part of the MK series has always been its gameplay. Although the whole ality things may be seen as somewhat gimmicky, it's always focused predominantly around its gameplay, and it needs to be fun and it needs to be different. And that's the thing with the Mortal Kombat series right now. I'm wondering in my head how they're gonna top this. Allow me to elaborate a little bit more. MK9 was a 2D fighter that focused around footsies and a good understanding of the neutral. There weren't as many mix-ups in the strings, but there were most certainly mix-ups that were still kind of added in game. However, for the most part, it was footsies and neutral. MKX decided to expand on that idea and add a new layer to the gameplay, that being the variation system. It added a new taste and flavor to the gameplay compared to MK9. Every matchup felt different, as you had to approach a different opponent in a different variation in a different way. But the point I'm trying to make is that each matchup did help kind of make the game feel quite unique, although there were some variations that just kind of existed. Now, if we're going straight to the core, MKX's core gameplay was very aggressive and very mix-up and 50-50 heavy. So the game was very fast and very head-on. If MKX could embody a word, it would be aggressive, because that's what it was. And that, for the most part, is what kept people coming back. The fast gameplay gave it life that made it both rewarding and entertaining. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because there's a clear evolution in the Mortal Kombat series. However, its IP counterpart, Injustice 2, hasn't fared as well. What I mean by this is that Injustice 2 is very centered on its legacy characters and kind of sticking to its roots, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. But the problem is, by creating a legacy game, things can feel a little bit too samey. A majority of players from games even like Tekken 7 and Street Fighter 5 do feel that way, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means it's very familiar to pick up. But back to what I mean is that you can see that the MK series has grown, whereas the Injustice series has kind of stayed in the same spot. But fundamentally, the neutral of the game and the footsies remain the same. And that's just a particular style of gameplay that the Injustice series does have. Now, the reason I'm mentioning this is because it leads up to my personal belief that the reason we didn't say MK11 this year is because they're going to be rehauling the gameplay. You see, MKX really kind of pushed what they did with like the 2D fighter. And I myself, I honestly don't know how they're going to be able to top it. Variations with weapons, but that's kind of irrelevant already done with Ninjutsu Scorpion, for example. That's what I mean by in terms of gameplay, I don't know how they're gonna evolve without making a complete and drastic change, which makes me worry because I feel like the next installment might be a 3D fighter. Now, I do enjoy 3D fighters. I have played a lot of Soul Calibur, as you guys have seen on my channel, but the reason as to why I'm worried is because when they started to implement more of the 3D era into the older games, it did lead to the slow decline of the series. Now, there were numerous factors. The games weren't entirely bad. They added some very interesting and some actually like really good stuff, but it just somewhat worries me as a fan looking from the outside thinking of what they can do. But as I said, I don't know how they're really going to top the gameplay for MKX. I feel like for the series to evolve again, it needs to take another drastic change. And I feel like they're at a point where they're kind of limited with what they can do as a 2D fighter since they implemented so much into MKX. And I know some might suggest something like, I don't know, stage transitions, but I personally feel that's kind of now become a staple of the Injustice series and one that they'll most likely stick to. Now let's get onto the discussion of story mode. Again, much like the gameplay, NetherRealm Studios has continued to show with each different installment that they constantly want to evolve their stories and how they feel unique and different with each installment. MK9 installment, it was a flat cinematic playthrough, which is perfectly fine. Injustice 1 had the installment of mini games before particular fights. MKX had quick time events, and Injustice 2 gave you the freedom and option of picking your fighter before a particular fight, which is a very nice addition to the game, along with that and 2 separate endings. So we're constantly showing that NetherRealm Studios is always going to push the boundaries with their story modes and create something different and unique every single time. So what's going to happen with MK11 story mode? Well, much like the gameplay, I don't know. If I were to make a wild guess off the top of my head, I think they'd probably mix elements from the cinematic story mode we've had in the reboot with possibly some ideas from the Injustice series and picking your own fighter, and maybe dabble into the conquest mode of the older series. As let's face it, the conquest mode was honestly the best part of the 3D era game. Now, I could be entirely wrong about this, but if my ideas are rooted in reality, then it would explain why we hadn't seen it this year, as a bunch of influencers, including myself, go by the normal NetherRealm Studio cycle. And although these ideas might seem a little bit crazy and a little bit far-fetched, do remember that if NRS has kind of taught us anything, it's that they're willing to push the boundaries of what their genre had. So please do keep that in mind. Now, do I think that Mortal Kombat 11 is being worked on as we speak? Absolutely yes, no doubt. The reason why I say this is because Injustice 2 hasn't been doing too well on the competitive circuit. It's been receiving a lot of mixed reception from pro players, and many of them have kind of pulled out and abandoned it for Dragon Ball FighterZ. And I feel like with the recent reception that they've kind of got from the community here, I highly doubt that there'll be another fighter pack for the series. So Injustice 2 right now is something I'd say that's probably done and polished, which although may be a sad thing, may also be a good thing for Mortal Kombat fans, because that means that NRS can start working on their next project a lot faster. And considering that they only work on 2 IPs, I can't see it being anything else. So I will say that MK11 probably isn't too far out of our reach, but it definitely seems to be a product that seemingly isn't ready or polished, which understandably is both a good and bad thing. So when it will be shown off is kind of a question in itself, but rest assured that MK11 will most definitely happen. It's kind of a given. MKX is the best-selling MK game of all time. Warner Brothers would have to be absolutely mad to not make another game. But yeah, that's kind of it for this video, guys. I do want to apologize for this coming out way later post E3, but I wanted a lot of hype to die down as there was a lot of false information floating around during that time, and I feel like it'd be best to just sit down and have a talk with you about what do I personally think is going on with the game? How do I feel about it not getting revealed, and what exactly is going on with it? Because there was that whole debacle, I'm just going to briefly mention it here. There's a bunch of drama and a bunch of clickbait going on, and it led to a lot of problems in the community and people kind of turning against people. So yeah, this is going to be my last video on the topic until we get some proper solid proof with information. I will keep making Mortal Kombat videos, but Mortal Kombat 11 stuff I'll tread on very lightly. I'll still make oriented stuff for what we can see, but like I said, I don't really want to feed into the clickbait. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. This video turned out a lot longer than I expected. Again, don't forget about letting me know about this editing stuff, if you guys like it or not. I may decide to make more of these in the future, or may not, depending on your reception. Anyway, I have another Mortal Kombat video planned for Saturday, and Thursday I'll be doing a Soul Calibur video talking about the characters I personally think that will get revealed at EVO this weekend. So yes, please do keep an eye out for that if you are interested. But yeah, guys, that's kind of it for now. So yeah, guys, before this video wraps up, if possible, let's try getting it to about 500 likes. It's a great way of helping out this channel since YouTube's ad system is broken as hell. So by giving it a thumbs up, it helps out a ton. And if you want to go that extra step, we also have a Patreon set up, and a link for it will be down in the description below. Anyway guys, as always, please comment, like, subscribe, and share this video with everyone you know. Please take care, and I'll see you all next time.